So usually, whatever we do, whatever human beings do, try to achieve, strive for, it's usually for one goal and one reason. What's the reason? Why we do everything in our life? Yes? Yes, yes. We want to be happy. Even when we think about our loved ones and our family, for example, still we want our family to be happy, our country, our friends. So it's everything referred to self. So ourself, we want to be happy. And the Buddha, he have very fundamental approach towards this, like human nature, I would say. So how to be ultimately happy, how to be completely free from any suffering. So, and last time we discussed, maybe several meetings before, we discussed Alagaddūpama Sutta, where this simile of the raft, simile of the snake. And in the same sutta, exactly after simile of the raft, Buddha gave us the grounds for views. So, what can be the basis to arise any kind of view? So, if we don't have these things, we don't have any view. We don't have any kind of attachment. And in the context of dukkha, in context of suffering, so because grasping and attachment to this kind of view lead to suffering, and to freedom from attachment to this view lead to freedom from suffering. So he says there are six ground of view. So the first one is when see our body, see this physical rupa as my or as self, as belonging to me, as true, as it's my true nature. So, and it's a ground. He speaks about basis of view. So what kind of view can arise from this ground? So I perceive the body is myself. What can arise from it? So idea that I'm healthy, or I'm strong, or I'm weak, or I have a long life, or whatever, I'm beautiful, I'm ugly. So any kind of idea. And if I identify with this, if I don't understand that this is changing body change because of many conditions, I'm suffer because I perceive myself as a beautiful, but now after 50 years, things change. So, and I'm suffer if I have this kind of perception. So then next one, ground of view, it's feelings, vedana. It's pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. And if person has this basis of view, he may have the idea that I'm a happy person. Because vedana is kind of pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. So, or I'm depressed person. I always feel depressed. I always feel bad. So, or I have a happy life. I have a comfortable life. Like everything what I do is so nice. Or even in more deep level, when person meditate and get some pleasure from meditation, he may think, oh, I achieve these things. I have the spiritual achievement, like some proud may come. But again, if we not understand that these things have a lot of causes and conditions and they change, then next time when, for example, I perceive myself as a happy person, next time something happened in my life, I'm not a happy person anymore, some situation change. Or if I perceive myself as a depressed person and kind of sad person, then it can lead to strong depression. Like I may perceive, oh, I have this nature. I'm always bad, and everything around bad. So it can cause some serious problem. So next one, it's sanya. It's a perception or recognition. So sanya, it's like on basic level, it's like how I perceive things. Like I see green leaves, I perceive it as a green leaves. Or on more deep level, it's sanya works. It make a groups and categorization. Like what is a good person, what is a good Buddhist, who is a good monk, for example, who is a bad monk, like who is a person who follow morality. So all this kind of line all these abstracts, it's imaginary things. They not exist actually. So Sanya creates these things. And if I identify myself with this, like, oh, I'm a good monk, and then something change, mind is until we reach some really deep state, or ideally arahantship, any defilements may arise. And if I perceive myself as a good monk, but then next moment I see some bad idea or bad thoughts or kind of defilements, greed, then I'm suffer. I'm not a good monk anymore, Or same, like I perceive myself as a good Buddhist follower. I keep sila. I follow morality. And then something changed. My mind has changed. Like situation changed, and I'm suffer if I identify with this label. So, and interesting, like from one monk, I heard one simile that he say, if you understand what is Vedana and Sanya, what is feelings and perception on deep level, you may see that all our experience, what we have, it's actually very similar to a gray clay. Like clay material from what they make a lot of things. And to make it nice, you need to paint it. You need to put color. Otherwise, it's just gray stuff. It doesn't. It's not pleasant. It's not unpleasant. It's nothing. It's just neutral. So he say, all our experience, it's actually just gray clay. And Sanya and Vedana, it just paints this clay in something. So we see something what is pleasant, Vedana arise, and Sanya immediately put label, pleasant, I like it, and paint it to green or to some nice color. Then see something unpleasant, Vedana arise, then Sanya put label, oh, no, unpleasant, red one, or something like this, unpleasant color. So, and interesting, in all experience what we may have, we focus only on this pleasant or unpleasant, usually. A lot of things, like I would say 90% of experience, we just not noticing, because it's just gray clay, we don't care, like this ground or earth or something what is usual for us, we're not noticing. So it's a job of Sanya and Vedana, and we may see that it just arises in our mind. It just causes and conditions, and nothing to be attached, nothing to be identified. So next one, Buddha speak about sankhara. Sankhara, it's a kind of intention or like notion in mind or any mental activity. And if I identify myself with any ideas or thoughts what arise in my mind, again I'm suffer. So because it's again conditional phenomena. It's arise and pass away. And yes, we definitely, it's good to have a like determination or like to see the goal and strive for our goal and try to achieve. But again, like to follow any intention or any idea in the mind, it would be madness, Like if any idea would arise in my mind, even for short moment, if I would think, okay, it's me and I need to do it, I have to do it. Then which kind of person I would be who just like go here and there because anything may arise in my mind, It's good to notice it and see, okay, like why it's arise in my mind. There is this and this. Okay, should I follow just like to check it with the scriptures, with my like understanding how I should act, how I not, and then to do the action. Okay, and next basis of youth, it's when I identify myself with the consciousness, with anything what may be perceived, anything what can be like seen, smelling, tasting, thinking, so all these 6 types of consciousness. And if I identify with this, I may have the idea of continuity of experience. I may think that it's always there, like there is no any change happening. I'm always there. Like this sense of I and I'm a consciousness is very strong in us. It's like almost very difficult to overcome. But like, where is this sense of I when I sleep, for example? Yeah, when I have a deep sleep without any dreaming, I die, or like, where is this? There is no consciousness. So, and Buddha give us this like 6 type of consciousness, because when you see each of them, when you see that each of them may arise and pass away, it's possible, like many monks report that it's possible to see ceasing of one consciousness and arising of another, and there is a short gap between when there is a no consciousness. And for this, surely you need to have very sharp faculty and to see it with wisdom, with concentration. But it can lead to detachment and disidentification. That, okay, if some things arise and pass away, how it can be me or my? Like the concept of I itself, it's contradicts the concept of like impermanence. I cannot be impermanent, you know. So, and the last ground of youth, what Buddha saying, it's a view or idea that I'm and the world is the same. So I is the same with the universe. I is the same with the whatever God, you know. And like after this, I will become everlasting. I like something myself would continue forever. So he clearly hit here idea of it's kind of a very common idea of like I'm the same. I'm like so. And what's wrong with this? Here the wrong moment is I. The concept of self by itself, from Buddhist perspective, does not exist. So it just like illusion what we have, and to think that like I and to say the same with universe or I will exist after death, it's kind of speculations. And it's, I mean, if you deeply understand that the concept of self is just a concept, just like for the purpose of living this life and have a lot of causes and conditions. So any idea that I am this or I am that or I am same with universe cannot have a ground. So it may feel nice when I first heard this idea, maybe, or like I'm the same with the universe. There is no difference. It feels very pleasant, you know, when you think about this deeply. It's like create a good feelings. But I mean, something would feel pleasant. Is it necessary to be true? We know, like feelings, they just arise and pass away. And if I feel pleasant now because of some idea, then next moment I can feel differently because the feelings can change. So feelings is not criterion for the true, for the reality. So, and then Buddha says that if you don't have any basis of view, what we just discussed before, there cannot be any fear of or shaking about something what does not exist. So it's not exist, and I don't have a fear for this. I'm wondering how often we are afraid or terrified of something what does not exist. So almost always, yeah. Like, oh, what's happening with my like children? Like they didn't pick up the phone, or I'm worried about them. Something happening, and you just worry. Or just I lose my job, I lose my reputation, or whatever. Or you stay in monastery and you think, oh, they're going to kick me out from this monastery or something like that. So you start to worry about something what does not exist, and it's just imaginary situation. Or just someone may say you like, you know, okay, there is a $1 million or 1 million ringgits for you. And for a short moment you may believe, okay, like I have it. But then he say, oh, it's a joke, you know, ha ha ha, like April joke. And then if you really deeply believe in that thought, you may see that you actually have a suffering about something what never existed. It just, someone just gives this idea in your mind and you just believe it. So, and also what can be not existed internally and we can have a fear or suffering because of. So Buddha says that if a person has this identity view that I'm and the universe the same, I'm the same with God and I will be everlasting, and then he meets Buddha's teaching, he hear and he accept teaching what speak about like losing of all attachment, like detachment from all identification, from all grasping, from all clinging. And then first thoughts what may arise in his mind is kind of fear and terror. I'm going to die. I'm going to disappear. Like I'm going to not exist anymore. So it's kind of example when there was nothing inside. It was just idea that something was inside. And then this idea disappeared, and I feel that I lost something, that I had it before. But actually, nothing to lose, it was never there. And then lastly, what I want to mention, Buddha asked monks, or even encourage. He say that monks, you need to grasp and cling to any acquisition or possession, what everlasting and never change. And then he asked, do you see, monks, this possession or acquisition, what you may possess, and it will be everlasting, never change? What do you think? Is it exist in the world? So monks say, no, Bhante. We cannot see any possession what we can cling and what everlasting. And he says, sadhu, sadhu, bhikkhu. I also doesn't see. There is no such possession. So it's kind of Buddha joke, You just say, okay, if you find something everlasting, cling to it, possess it. And they say, Bhante, there is nothing. So in the same way, he told them, if you find any idea of self or concept of self, what you can grab and what not lead you to suffering. And then they ask him, is there any concept of self what does not lead you to suffering? They say, no, Bhante. There is no such every concept of self lead to only suffering. Say, sadhu, sadhu, bhikkhu. And lastly he say, do you see any ground of youth or basic of youth? When you attach to it, you will be not in suffering. You will not suffer. Then if you find this, okay, grab to it, hold to it. And then he asked, do you see anything like this? Bhikkhu replied, no, there is no way. If you grasp to anything, to any view, you will be suffer. And again, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't have right view, or we shouldn't have right perspective or right understanding what's good, what's bad, what leads us to goal, what does not, how to be moral person, how to be not. But as I understand it, speak about attachment and grasping. So when I just grasp, okay, it's my idea, it's my understanding, and group of people who are around me, we are right, we are on the side of the rightness. Everyone else just wrong. It's our enemy. So this kind of grasping on subtle level and on more obvious level, it leads to suffering. And Buddhists encourage us to be free from grasping, free from any clinging. So I wish to all of us to be free from any grasping, any clinging, any kind of stuck in our mind. Be released, be free, and be ultimately happy.